Hi everybody, in this video we will start to discuss chapter 4, International Harmonization. This chapter consists of four main topics. First one, reasons for obstacles and measurement of harmonization. Why we need to harmonize, the reasons of harmonization, obstacles of harmonization, and measurement of harmonization. We will discuss each one of them one by one. Section 2, we will discuss the International Accounting Standard Committee, the history of it, the standards and acceptance of them, etc. And on the third part, we will discuss international bodies of accounting, such as International Federation of Accountants, International Organization of Security Commission, European Union, etc. On the section 4, we will discuss international accounting standard rules. At the end of this chapter, why we will discuss these topics? What's the objective of this discussion? First of all, we will assess the argument for and against international harmonization. Do we need harmonization? Before that, what's harmonization? Do we need it? Why we need it? What's the importance of harmonization? At the end of this chapter, you have to know the answer of these questions. And objective number 2, you will discuss, or we will discuss the purpose and the history of International Accounting Standard Committee to understand the process of setting the international standards. In section 4 or 3, we will explain how explaining the structure and working of the International Accounting Standard. So first of all, we will start to discuss, or we will learn together, what's the importance of harmonization. In objective number 2, we will know what's the accounting bodies around the world. We will start with International Accounting Standard Committee. After that, we will go to discuss the international accounting bodies or professions around the world. At the end of this chapter, we will discuss the role and the importance of International Accounting Standard Board and why did they converted from International Accounting Standard Committee to International Accounting Standard. Let us start with the introduction of this chapter. Now, as you know, we discussed this point that I'm going to clarify it in the coming minutes. We discussed the differences of accounting treatment around the world. Because of the globalization, as we discussed in chapter 1, the accounting environment around the organization has different variables that affect the accounting report. Also, I think still you remember, we have many factors influence accounting reports, such as culture, legal system, provision profession bodies around the world. In addition to the taxation, also you have the differences because of the legal system, etc. All of these differences had led to great complications for those preparing consolidated, how we will prepare consolidation or consolidated financial statement. Now we have companies for example, located in the US, they have affiliated company located in the UK, someone or somewhere else in the, for example, here in Palestine, etc. Now, the great complication because of the differences of culture, differences of legal system, differences of tax laws, differences of the rules that influence the accounting treatment of itself. Imagine, how can we prepare consolidated financial statement? How can external auditor audit the financial statement? And how can we interpret published financial statement? Right now, we have globalization. This globalization caused or lead us to figure out differences, many factors that cause differences when we prepare our financial statement. These differences had led to great complication for those preparing, consolidating, auditing, and interpreting published financial statements. Also, because of these differences we have discussed a minute ago, I remind you a minute ago, and we have discussed in previous chapters. Also, we have overlap between internal financial information with the preparation of published financial information. Now, only I present you the differences because of the variables that influence the preparing financial statement process. For these reasons we have discussed, what we have to do. This is the question of this chapter. What we have to do because of the great complication for those preparing, consolidating, auditing, and interpreting published financial statement. In your opinion, what we have to do? Take a minute to think about this point before I move forward. Let us discuss. Right now we have to prepare consolidated financial statements. Still we have great complications when we prepare it because of the reasons that we have discussed. So the point is we have to minimize the differences between countries or between the rules of the countries to prepare financial statement, to prepare our financial statement. So, or for that, we are going in this chapter to discuss 2 points, or the main points that we are going to discuss: harmonization. Harmonization is a process of increasing the compatibility by setting bounds to their degree of variation. In another word, it means we aim to minimize the differences between the countries, between the rules of preparing the financial statement. When we minimize the differences, that means we are going to standardize the preparing financial statement process. To clarify this idea or related to this idea, you have to be careful. We have 2 kinds of harmonization. Harmonization of rules and harmonization of practices. What's the difference? Now, harmonization of rules means that we have, for example, one method only to prepare or to evaluate the inventory, let us say that. Also, the available or allowed method is, for example, first in, first out. In this case, we are obligated only to adopt this method. In this case, we are talking about harmonization of rules. On the other hand, harmonization of practices. This is that we will discuss in the coming part of this chapter. Harmonization of practices means that we minimize the differences between the rules of accounting, but we still have a kind of a flexibility. It means that, okay, you have to determine the approaches or methods of evaluating the inventory. As we say, or we can say that first in, first out, weighted average, both of them are allowed. So in this case, we minimize the differences and we harmonize the practices of accounting. We give them flexibility and we minimize the differences, but we apply or we adopt harmonization of practices approach. Let us go to clarify these ideas of harmonization. What's harmonization, the reasons of harmonization, obstacles to harmonization, and measurement of harmonization in the coming video. See you there.